A life is not important, except in the impact it has on other lives. Above anything else, I hate to lose. After 2 years at UCLA, I decided to leave. I was convinced that no amount of education would help a black man get a job. In all my years of baseball, I have always expected to be traded. I never liked the idea. At the beginning of the World Series of 1947, I experienced a completely new emotion when the national anthem was played. This time I thought, it is being played for me, as much as for anyone else. Baseball is like a poker game. Nobody wants to quit when he's losing. Nobody wants you to quit when you're ahead. Blacks have had to learn to protect themselves by being cynical, but not cynical enough to slam the door on potential opportunities. We go through life walking a tightrope to prevent too much disillusionment. How you played in yesterday's game is all that counts. I cannot possibly believe that I have it made, while so many black brothers and sisters are hungry, inadequately housed, insufficiently clothed, denied their dignity, as they live in slums, or barely exist on welfare. I do not believe that every person in every walk of life can succeed in spite of any handicap. That would be perfection. But I do believe that what I was able to attain came to be because we put behind us, no matter how slowly, the dogmas of the past, to discover the truth of today, and perhaps the greatness of tomorrow. I don't like needing anyone for anything. I don't think it matters what I believe, only what I do. I felt unhappy and trapped. If I left baseball, where could I go? What could I do to earn enough money to help my mother, and to marry Rachel? The solution to my problem was only days away in the hands of a tough, shrewd, courageous man called Branch Rickey, the president of the Brooklyn Dodgers. I guess you call me an independent, since I've never identified myself with one party or another in politics. I always decide my vote by taking as careful a look as I can at the actual candidates and issues themselves, no matter what the party label. I had practiced with the team, and the first scheduled game was with the University of Missouri. They made it quite clear to the Army that they would not play a team with a black player on it. Instead of telling me the truth, the Army gave me leave to go home. I had to fight hard against loneliness, abuse, and the knowledge that any mistakes I made would be magnified, because I was the only black man out there. I never cared about acceptance as much as I cared about respect. I have always been grateful to Colonel Longley. He proved to me that when people in authority take a stand, good can come out of it. I speak to you only as an American who happens to be an American Negro and one who is proud of that heritage. We ask for nothing special. We ask only that we be permitted to compete on an even basis, and if we are not worthy, then the competition shall per se eliminate us. I think if we go back and check our record, the Negro has proven beyond a doubt that we have been more than patient in seeking our rights as American citizens. The right of every American to first-class citizenship is the most important issue of our time. I want everybody to understand that I am an American Negro first, before I am a member of any political party. The way I figured it, I was even with baseball, and baseball with me. The game had done much for me, and I had done much for it. I'm not concerned with your liking or disliking me. All I ask is that you respect me as a human being. I'm grateful for all the breaks and honors and opportunities I've had, but I always believe I won't have it made until the humblest black kid in the most remote backwoods of America has it made. If I had been white with the things I did, they never would have allowed me to get out of baseball. In my opinion, baseball is as big a business as anything there is. It has to be a business, the way it is conducted. It isn't a perfect America, and it isn't run right, but it still belongs to us. If I had to choose between baseball's Hall of Fame and first-class citizenship for all of my people, I would say first-class citizenship. It kills me to lose. If I'm a troublemaker, and I don't think that my temper makes me one, then it's because I can't stand losing. That's the way I am about winning. All I ever wanted to do was finish first. It would make everything I worked for meaningless if baseball is integrated, but political parties were segregated. Life is not a spectator sport. If you're going to spend your whole life in the grandstand just watching what goes on, in my opinion, you're wasting your life. My problem was my inability to spend much time at home. I thought my family was secure, so I went running around every place else. I guess I had more of an effect on other people's kids than I did my own. My protests about the post-exchange seating bore some results. More seats were allocated for blacks, but there were still separate sections for blacks and for whites. At least, I had made my men realize that something could be accomplished by speaking out, and I hoped they would be less resigned to unjust conditions. No matter how much, or how little I knew technically, I was able to get the best out of people I worked with. Above anything else, I hate to lose. Plenty of times I wanted to haul off when somebody insulted me for the color of my skin, but I had to hold to myself. I knew I was kind of an experiment. The whole thing was bigger than me. I know that I am a black man in a white world. I know that I never had it made. Pop flies, in a sense, are just a diversion for a second baseman. Grounders are his stock trade. Relationships may change throughout the gift of time. Memories stay the same forever in my mind. During my life, I have had a few nightmares which happened to me while I was wide awake. The most luxurious possession, the richest treasure anybody has, is his personal dignity. The right of every American to first-class citizenship is the most important issue of our time. There's not an American in this country free until every one of us is free. Today, Negroes play on every big league club and in every minor league. With millions of other Negroes in other walks of life, we are willing to stand up and be counted for what we believe in. In baseball or out, we are no longer willing to wait until Judgment Day for equality. We want it here on earth as well as in heaven. When I am playing baseball, I give it all that I have on the ball field. When the ball game is over, I certainly don't take it home. My little girl who is sitting out there wouldn't know the difference between a third strike and a foul ball. When I look back at what I had to go through in black baseball, I can only marvel at the many black players who stuck it out for years in the Jim Crow leagues because they had nowhere else to go.